Folks whispered, "Kinderhook creature," but no one wanted to talk too much. This region has always been proud and private. People tend to keep unusual experiences to themselves. As I continued visiting the old house, I live in Albany full time, so I only go down on weekends. Unsettling things kept happening. One night, well past midnight, I heard something moving around the porch. It sounded almost like a person pacing, heavy footfalls, thump, thump, but spaced too far apart for a normal stride. My porch light blinked for a second, and in that flicker, I thought I caught sight of a massive shape passing by the window. It had a broad, muscular outline, and the top of its head seemed a bit pointed or sloped. The silhouette vanished almost as soon as it appeared. I had this overwhelming sense that if I opened the door, I might be staring right at it. The following day, I walked the property line and noticed odd marks on some of the trees, large scratches or gouges. They were higher than I could reach, even if I stood on tiptoe. We don't have many bears in this exact area, and these gouges weren't in the typical bear claw pattern anyway. A few of the trees seemed almost bent or snapped partway up. Could a severe storm do that? Possibly. But they were freshly broken, and the wood had that raw splinter to it. It felt more deliberate than weather-related. I started asking around about the Kinderhook creature. Some folks recalled hearing about a Bigfoot-type being that roamed the region in the 80s, causing property damage and scaring people enough that some families even moved away. A local historian mentioned that sightings go back further than that. There are old references in certain 19th century diaries about a wild man haunting the Catskills. One entry described a large figure with unusual strength, glimpsed at dusk near a water source. It made me think of my experiences by the creek. Things took a turn for the worse about a month ago when, while clearing brush one afternoon, I sensed a powerful odor, like wet fur mixed with an earthy musk. I've come across fox dens and the occasional skunk, but this was far stronger, almost like the reek of an unkempt zoo enclosure. I turned in time to see a swaying motion among the trees, as though something big had just slipped out of sight. My heart pounded. I stood there for a good minute, half expecting it to step forward. Eventually the smell faded, but the uneasy feeling remained. A few days after that, I spoke with an elderly couple living closer to the Catskill Creek. They claimed they've had bizarre encounters on and off for decades, strange noises at night, missing pets, and sightings of an enormous figure lurking near the tree line. They said that years ago, they tried reporting it to local authorities but were brushed off. They ended up installing heavy-duty floodlights and avoiding the woods after sunset. They called it an ongoing nightmare, something they've learned to live with rather than fight. Last weekend, the tension really amped up. I spent the night at the house alone, hoping to catch up on some renovation work. Around 2 a.m., loud thumps echoed outside, like rocks or logs being banged together. I peered out a side window and saw a big shape dart behind the shed. I barely got a glimpse, but it appeared hunched, with a strange fluidity in its movement, faster than I'd have expected for something, or maybe trying to intimidate me. on my own property before. I've heard theories that it could be a normal animal with unusual growth, a feral human, or an undiscovered species. Others lean toward something more paranormal, or a shapeshifter. I can't say I believe in all that, but I also can't deny what I've experienced. The enormous footprints, the fleeting glimpses of a hulking figure, the stench, the bizarre noises. None of it feels like a standard wild animal. None of it feels like a standard wild animal. This is my first this is my first time writing to anyone about this. If you decide the plan was just a short walk in, please snap some photos for Dee's personal ghost hunting collection. Snap some photos for Dee's personal ghost hunting collection.